Kathy Piciulo with the Kenton Chamber of Commerce, and I'm continuing a series that we have started with our small businesses in the area, having to do with our theme this year, #NewU22. And I'm joined by David Stinner, the president of US itek, who's the official computer company for the Kenton Chamber of Commerce, I might say. And they are, David is going to help us today as we've been discussing health topics. So your mental health, your physical health, your social media health, things to do with business or personal. And this conversation today is about your cyber health, because that's definitely something that is right in there in the mix. So David has a lot of experience with that, and I would like to welcome you and start a quick kind of a little bit of a rapid fire. I know I get chatty and I want to hear what you have to say. So a couple of questions that we have for you. So when we're looking back at the last couple of years, the first question here is, how have you seen people's cyber health change or been affected over the last 2 years?
Thanks for having me, Kathy. Probably the biggest change is the rapid implementation of work from home. I think there was, reading statistics, there was only about 5% or less of the workforce in America working remotely before the pandemic. But there are, in those sectors where people can work remote, as many as 25%, I guess, predicted by the end of this year will be working remote. Now, there's a lot more of that in large enterprise than there is in the small business sector, but it's definitely a trend that we're seeing across the small and medium-sized businesses that we support. So along with that comes the advanced level of cybersecurity protection that's needed. Everything from the Wi-Fi connection to being on a safe and secure computer. It's really a bad standard, a bad practice for a small business owner to let their employees connect to the computer network and work off of a home computer that's not secured by their IT department or IT vendor. They really need all the levels of protection and cybersecurity and antivirus and all the tools to properly secure that, because the weakest link in a chain is the one that's going to break. And you don't want somebody using an infected computer that someone else in the family is downloading games or coupon printer drivers or things that are just loaded with malware and adware, getting into your computer network and taking down your business.
And I'll just have to put in that we had planned and thankfully we had everything in place when the pandemic hit, that we had the computers through US itek and the VPN, and everything was secure. And fortunately, we did have that set up beforehand, and I was able to just pick my computer up off my desk and go home and work there for a year. So with complete security and thanks to your company, and we were very fortunate to have almost pre-planned that. I really have always wanted to work from home, and I got a chance to do that. But
well, that's disaster recovery and business continuity planning, whether it's any type of event where you can't get access to your building, weather events, storm events, and now we can add pandemic to the list to be able to be ready to work from anywhere. It's just a practice that I believe any business that uses computers needs to have in place, as well as the accommodation of the 21st century workforce. I mean, we've heard this term, the Great Resignation. So if you're not accommodating these type of abilities for your staff, your staff is likely to go find a place that can accommodate that. Whether it's the old mindset of, well, there's a snowstorm, I don't care, you get your butt to work, or to the people who can't because their children have a snow day and they have to be home they're going to find the employer that lets them have that flexibility, because there are enough employers who do have that flexibility. So if you're not providing that, you're going to be on the wrong side of the issue.
So tying into that, what we want to do is try to give maybe a couple of tips or pieces of advice to people that are looking to improve their cyber health in 2022.
So I think I could name three. Definitely get cybersecurity awareness training in place for all of your staff at your business. This is actually a requirement of most cyber insurance policies now. If you're under any type of compliance, like the New York State Department of Financial Services, so if you're in finance or insurance, or the New York State Shield Act, this is actually a legal requirement. And the reason it is because the human is the weakest link in the whole system now. It is a whole lot easier to hack a human being than it is to hack a firewall. So the social engineering of getting through the human is so much easier, and that's what the bad actors are going after. So along with that, cybersecurity awareness training is the first point. Second point is you need to do simulated phishing. So that's a method of sending a fake phishing email out to your staff to see who clicks on the links. And the reason you do that is you have to identify who needs additional training on your staff. If you have gullible people who are clicking through and they are a high risk for your business, you need to figure out how to plug that hole. And I guess the final topic would be just getting everyone trained, which is what they should learn in cybersecurity awareness training. Always verify before you click on links. Links are the most dangerous thing, because if you're unaware of where they're going, they take you to a bad place. They dupe you into installing your credentials, your passwords, and then those bad actors are getting into systems that you don't want them into, whether it's your bank system, your email system, or anything in between.
Excellent, excellent. Well, that's great. Now, I do have a bonus question, and I know we were talking a little bit, so I'm not sure which direction you want me to head, because I'd like to let you answer the one you want to answer. But you've always inspired me personally on some of the things that you've done or read, some of the books you've read and things that you try to implement as far as your let's say self-discipline or just business business disciplines, let's say too. What new thing are you going to try or are going to do differently this year?
Well, I would challenge everybody out there that may be a new thing to them, which would be get two-factor authentication on every system you can. Every website you access, that you do shopping, that stores your credit card number. The pizzeria, if they store your credit card number and you're ordering all the time. Of course, all of your banking and credit card systems and any governmental systems that you tie into, and use a password manager if you haven't done that already, or get deeper involved and use your password manager to protect you. Do not use the same password twice anywhere. When I tell people that, they kind of freak out a little bit, because, well, I have 200-300 places that I put a password in. So think about that. When you hear about these breaches, some website that you went and you bought something on, you bought, let's say, paper towels for the office, and they were delivered, and you put your credit card in there. Okay, so you think that the only risk is your credit card, and you think you're protected by your credit card company. But actually, if you put your email address as your username and your favorite password that you use everywhere, and now that system was hacked and somebody downloaded the 100,000 usernames and passwords, they can use a very powerful bot that goes and tests that username and password against their 100 favorite American banks until they find the bank that you use the same password for, and they are now in your bank account draining all of your funds. It's really that simple. So that's why the proper cyber hygiene is never repeat a password. And the easiest way to do that is to let the password manage that for you. So the password manager, You memorize one master password, and then you let it remember everything else for you, and you use the password generator to make a unique, strong, and long password for every site.
Okay, that is great advice and something I have to work on, because I'm one of those who looks at the number of passwords I put out or links that I have a password on, and I totally have some favorites. I shouldn't even say that, but because I'm going to change them all right now. But
Not as of tomorrow, right?
yeah, right, or later tonight. And the other thing is that two-factor authentication to make it even more difficult. So that's actually what, a password, and what's the second authentication?
So the second thing is either it's something you know, which is in your head, that's the password, and it's something you have. So if the password list was stolen in one of those breaches, like the breach of a website where somebody can download, a bad actor can download 100,000 usernames and passwords, they don't have the thing that you are supposed to have. So it could either be a token on a piece of software like your bank provides that's on your smartphone, or it could be a system that sends you a text message to your phone that you have to have your phone to then type that text, that number into the system.
Great, got it.
So anything that you use online that allows for two-factor, you need to set it up.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you. That actually, I think, helps a lot. I wanted to keep it short and sweet, and you did that very well to help people, and either for business and personal, for their cybersecurity health in our hashtag #NewU22 series here. So I will put up in our pile here after this video ways that you can connect with David Stinner at US itek and understand more of their services too, because this is just the tip of the iceberg, a bunch of smart people over there. So thank you for your time here today. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.